리드 포 스피드 뭔가 봅시다. F-104 스타파이터 리드 포 스피드. 록히드 스컹크 벅스 엔지니어였던 컬리 켈슨이 1952년에 소형 항공기부터 20톤까지 대형 항공기를 100대 이상 설계 제안을 제출했다. 존슨 팀은 새로운 제작 항공기 최적화하기 위해서 서로 다른 수익과 미익을 지닌 장비를 만들어 300개 이상의 실험을 거쳤다. 결과물 중 하나가 L242, 즉 F-104 시리즈다. 야, 저렇게 많은 걸 만들었는데 나온 게 이거야. 그렇게 많이 만들어서
By the end of the 1940s, it was clear that the era of piston-engined fighters was over. New jet-powered birds were already spreading their wings. And even though the US was one of the earliest and the most enthusiastic adopters of modern aircraft configurations, the Korean War made the US military realize that it was still not enough. Pilots that faced Soviet MiGs requested an aircraft that would be simpler, lighter, and faster than the F-86 Sabre.
한국전에서 미그기가
By 1952,
세이버를
Kelly
앞둔
Johnson,
걸로 알고
who was the
있습니다.
chief engineer at Lockheed's Skunk Works, had drafted over
조금 더
100
속도가
aircraft
빨랐다
proposals,
그러더라고요.
ranging from relatively small designs to large 20-ton beasts. In order to find the optimal configuration for their new plane, he and his team made more than 400 launches, testing different wing types and tail units. One of the resulting designs,
그렇게 해서
the
만들어진 게
L-246, eventually
F-104라니
became the
참
progenitor
아이러니하죠.
of the whole F-104 series.
아마 그거겠죠. 기술적인 한계도 있겠죠. 그때 만들 수
Johnson and his men
있는
presented the
엔진,
design to the USAF,
이제
who were interested
소재
enough to
이런 것
create a
때문에.
new official proposal that
미사일
very
같죠,
year,
미사일.
inviting several industry leaders to participate.
이게 엄청
The list of
좋은
companies competing for the
디자인이었으면
contract
지금도 널리
included the
사용되겠죠.
Republic Aviation Corporation, North American Aviation, Northrop Corporation, and General Electric. Lockheed faced fierce competition but persevered and was granted a development contract early the next year. Just 1 month after the contract was signed, engineers completed the first wooden mock-up, and the first prototype was ready in 1954, after just 1 year of development. As a result of this unexpectedly rapid pace, the J-79 engine was still unavailable, and so the first trials had to be conducted with the less powerful J-65 engine. Nevertheless, the result was very impressive. Even an incomplete variant of the aircraft exceeded expectations. After the initial success, development stalled.
이게
But after a
스타파이터가
few more
과부
years,
제조기로
the project was
유명하잖아요.
finally back on track.
그 중에
The aircraft
하나가
was lengthened to
성능도
accommodate a
문제가
more
있을 수
powerful engine,
있지만
and as a result of
그런
rigorous
이야기가
testing,
있더라고요.
received a
프로기
lot of other
타던 사람들이
improvements.
갑자기
In
이제
1958,
고성능
the
제트기를
USAF
운영하는 게
received
익숙하지
their
않아서
first batch of F-104 Starfighters. Nobody expected the new aircraft to just start beating world records right from the get-go, but that's exactly what it did. The Starfighter was the first production aircraft of its class to
최초
achieve
마일이
Mach 2,
도달한
and the
항공기다.
first aircraft to reach an altitude of 30,000 meters after taking off under its own power. Pilots that had to fight Starfighters during
이거
training
국기, 대만
often
국기인데.
felt that the matchup was simply unfair. With such a long list of achievements, it's no wonder that people were ready to overlook an equally long list of technical difficulties attached to the plane, from its high fuel consumption rate to its underdeveloped engine, prone to overheating.
이거 스타파이터 엔진은 그거죠. 팬텀
The
엔진 하나
F-104A variant received the M61 Vulcan, a famous 6-barrel rotary autocannon.
이게
It was the very
게들링
first time
벌컨
the gun
있잖아요.
was fitted on an
이게
aircraft.
여기 최초로
The
만들어진 거예요.
Starfighter also featured wingtip stations that could be used to carry Sidewinder missiles
지금도
or fuel
사용되는
tanks. The
그 기총.
F-104C variant, which was produced a bit later, was fitted to carry an even wider array of payload options. The US wasn't the only client that Lockheed had, though. The company also produced export versions of the aircraft and allowed other nations to build their own Starfighters
그치.
under
막 독일에서는
license.
사고가 많이
For
나는데
example,
또
Germany
스페인에서는
employed the
운영해서 문제가
F-104G,
없었다 이러더라고.
which was modified to fit the role of an
그러니까
all-weather
운영하기
multi-role
나름이었던 것
aircraft.
같아요.
Japan also had its own interceptor
일본도
variant,
있었다.
the F-104J. Italy is a bit of a
오선도에
special case
스페인이
here.
나와도 될
They
것 같기도
developed their
한데.
own variant of the F-104, the F-104S, equipped with the powerful J-79 GE-19 engine. Furthermore, in the mid-1980s, Italy started producing an even more advanced version of the aircraft, fitted with a new radar and as-speed missiles. As
아스피드
it was made by
미사일도
Air
가졌다.
Italia, it was accepted into service as Air Italia's Starfighter F-104S
아사파이터.
ASA.
아사파이터.
The Starfighter was extremely fast indeed, but to achieve that, engineers had to make sacrifices, and it was mainly to the reliability of the aircraft. Nowadays, many remember the Starfighter not for its speed, but for being plagued by technical difficulties, and just being a dangerous plane to fly. Germany, Italy, and Canada each lost approximately a third of their respective fleets of F-104s. If you take just Germany, that's almost 300 aircraft out of commission in just 28 years of service. To be fair, some operators didn't have any problems with the Starfighter at all. For instance, Spain was an active operator that didn't lose a single aircraft.
그렇죠. 스페인에서는 잘 운영했다더라고.
Nevertheless, by the early 1990s, most operators retired the F-104. Italy kept on modernizing the aircraft for a little while, but in 2004, they too finally retired this relic of the past. All in all, more than 2,500 Starfighters rolled off the factory
근데
floor.
스타파이터 보면
But
드는
aircraft of the
생각이
series were never widely used in actual combat.
개발자들
The
입장에서는
Starfighter saw
괜찮은지
action in
모르겠지만
Vietnam and some
파일럿들은
local
별로일 것
conflicts,
같아요.
and
그러니까
that was it.
그때
There are lots of
당시에는
aircraft
개발할
of the
당시에
Starfighter
파일럿과
series scattered all
개발자들이
around the
같이
tech
공동
trees,
작업을 안 한 것
from the
같아요.
early
요즘엔 안
F-104A
그러잖아.
all the way up to the technical marvel that is the F-104S. You can find
조종
them at
시야라든가
ranks
이런 게
6 and
엉망이더라고.
7 of the tech trees belonging to the US, Germany, Italy, Japan, and China. What do you think about the legendary missile with a man in it? Tell us in the comments below.
개인적으로 스타파이터 저는 좋아하긴 합니다. 저 빠른 기체 좋아하니까. 그리고 조작성도 나쁘지 않고. 빨리 못 돈다 뿐이지 롤도 빠르고 조작성 좋죠. 기총도 상당히 좋죠. 단도 넉넉하고. 하지만